They say trust is the bedrock of any relationship. It's the invisible thread that ties two people together, keeping them close through storms and sunshine alike. I thought I had that with my wife, Emily, for years. I lived in the comfortable belief that our marriage was built on that kind of trust, unshakable, enduring, real. But trust, I've learned, is like glass. It shines, it reflects light. It looks beautiful when it's whole. But the moment a single crack runs through it, the illusion is shattered forever. And once shattered, it doesn't matter how much you try to glue it back together. It will never look the same again. Emily and I have been married for 8 years. We weren't perfect, but we were happy, or so I thought. She was the kind of woman who could light up a room with her laugh. She loved dinner parties, vacations with her friends, endless Instagram posts about sunsets and cocktails. I, on the other hand, was steady, grounded. I worked long hours, paid the bills, fixed the leaky faucets, made sure the roof stayed over our heads. I thought we complemented each other perfectly, her fire and my calm. But then the little things started. At first, I told myself I was imagining it. The late nights at work, the way her phone suddenly became an extension of her hand. She'd take it to the bathroom, to the laundry room, even just to grab the mail. And when I casually asked who she was texting, she'd laugh it off. "Oh, just Sarah." You know how she never stops talking. I wanted to believe her. I wanted so badly to believe her. But I couldn't ignore the shift. She stopped looking me in the eye when she said she loved me. Our conversations grew shorter. She was more interested in her screen than in me. Then came the night that changed everything. Emily had told me she was staying late at the office for a project deadline. She kissed me quickly, grabbed her bag, and left in a hurry. I sat there on the couch, half watching the news, half thinking about how often she'd been working late lately. Something in me refused to sit idle this time. So I got in my car and drove to her office. When I pulled up, the parking lot was almost empty. Only a couple of cars. Hers wasn't one of them. My stomach sank. I sat there for a long minute, staring at the empty space where her car should have been, the reality slowly seeping in. She wasn't at work. She had lied. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but something inside me, instinct maybe, told me exactly what was going on. And for the first time in our marriage, I felt like a stranger in my own life. Over the next week, I paid closer attention. I noticed how she dressed up more for work than ever before. Perfume she hadn't worn in years. New lingerie receipts tucked away in her purse. And then, the biggest clue of all, I saw the name Jason flash across her phone screen one morning when she thought I was still asleep. She snatched the phone away so quickly I pretended not to notice, but inside I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Jason, a man's name, a man I didn't know. I could have confronted her right then, demanded answers, started a fight, but something told me not to. I wanted to be sure. I needed to be sure. So I kept my silence and played the part of the clueless husband while inside I was breaking. And then I decided to set a trap. One evening, when Emily said she was heading out for another late meeting, I nodded, kissed her on the cheek, and watched her leave. 5 minutes later, I grabbed my keys and followed, keeping my distance, my headlights off when I could. She didn't drive to her office. She drove across town to a quiet neighborhood, parked outside a small house, and walked up the steps like she'd done it 100 times before. And when the door opened, Jason was there, tall, confident, the kind of man who didn't even glance around to see if anyone might be watching. She kissed him, right there, in plain sight, like I was invisible. That moment seared into my mind forever. The woman I'd built my life with, the woman I thought I knew, was wrapped up in the arms of another man. I didn't confront them. Not yet. I drove home, my hands gripping the wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. Every mile was heavy with betrayal, but my mind was sharper than it had been in years. For the first time, I saw the truth clearly, and I knew exactly what I had to do. For days, I lived a double life. To her, I was still the oblivious husband, smiling, cooking dinner, pretending to listen about her projects. But behind the mask, I was gathering everything I needed. I checked our bank accounts. I copied down messages from her phone while she showered, I even spoke to a lawyer. The betrayal cut deep, but I wasn't going to let her destroy me. Then came the night she came home, the night she had no idea I knew. It was late, past midnight. I heard the click of the door, the quiet shuffle of her heels on the floor. She walked in humming, her hair a little messy, her makeup smudged just enough for me to know where she'd been. She set her purse down, kicked off her shoes, and froze when she saw me sitting there in the dark. Her smile faltered. "Babe, you scare me. Why are you up?" I leaned back, my eyes locked on hers. And in that silence, for the first time, she saw it, the truth in my gaze. I knew